The gas station on the edge of Route 66 buzzed with late-night sounds, the hiss of air pumps, the click of the cashier's register, the low hum of passing trucks. Under the harsh white lights, a Hell's Angel swung his leg over his bike, helmet tucked under his arm. He had stopped only for fuel and coffee, nothing more. His leather jacket bore the scars of miles traveled, patches faded by sun and rain. He twisted the throttle, the engine growling awake, ready to disappear into the long American highway. Then a small voice cut through the noise. "Please don't leave me." The biker froze. The engine idled, vibrating beneath him. He turned his head and saw a child standing near the vending machines, barefoot on the cold concrete. The kid couldn't have been more than 8 or 9, wearing an oversized hoodie and clutching a torn backpack as if it were the only solid thing left in the world. His eyes were wide, red from crying, fixed on the biker with a desperate hope that felt heavier than the night air. The Hell's Angel shut off the engine. Silence fell between them, broken only by the wind rattling a plastic sign. Slowly, the biker stepped off his bike and knelt so he wouldn't loom. "Hey," he said, voice low and steady. "It's okay. I'm not going anywhere." He raised his hand slightly, showing he meant no harm. The child hesitated, then took a small step closer. "Everyone keeps leaving," he whispered. "My mom went to the bathroom at the bus stop. She said wait right there. I waited. Then the bus left. Then it got dark." His words tumbled out, fast and shaky, like he was afraid the story might disappear if he stopped talking. The biker listened without interrupting. He had heard plenty of tough stories in his life, but something about the kid's quiet fear cut deeper than any loud trouble ever had. He reached into his saddlebag and pulled out a bottle of water, setting it gently on the ground between them. "You thirsty?" he asked. The child nodded and took a careful sip, still watching the biker's face. The man offered a small smile. "You did the right thing asking for help," he said. "Real brave." They moved to the edge of the light, away from the fuel pumps. The biker draped his jacket loosely around the kid's shoulders, not touching him, just close enough to block the cold wind. He asked simple questions. The child's name, where the bus stop was, what city his mom said they were going to. Each answer painted a clearer picture of a mistake that had turned into a long, scary night. "I thought you were gonna leave too," the child said quietly. The biker shook his head. "Nah, once someone asks me for help, I stay." He glanced at the highway stretching into darkness, then back at the kid. For the first time that night, the road could wait. Inside the gas station, the fluorescent lights felt warmer than the night outside. The Hell's Angel held the door open, letting the child walk in first so he wouldn't feel rushed or trapped. A couple of customers glanced over, then went back to their snacks and coffee. The biker kept his voice calm, steady, the way he wished someone had spoken to him long ago. "We're just gonna make a call, okay? Then we'll wait." The child nodded, still clutching his backpack. The biker paid for a sandwich, a carton of milk, and a candy bar, sliding them across the small counter toward the kid. "Food first," he said. "Hard to think when you're hungry." They sat at a plastic table near the window. Outside, the bike stood silent, chrome reflecting the station lights like it was keeping watch. As the child ate, the biker used his phone. He called the local police non-emergency line, explaining slowly, clearly. He didn't rush, didn't exaggerate. "Found a lost kid at the Route 66 station near mile marker 23. He's safe. With me. Looks like a bus stop mix-up." He put the phone on speaker and set it on the table so the child could hear the calm voice on the other end promising help was on the way. "Are they mad?" the child asked, mouth full. The biker shook his head. "Nope. They're here to help you get home." He leaned back, giving the kid space, and pointed to a faded baseball cap logo on the boy's hoodie. "You like baseball?" The kid's shoulders relaxed a little. "Yeah, Dodgers." The biker chuckled. "Figures. I'm more of a Cubs guy myself." For a few minutes, they talked about teams, stadiums, and the idea of seeing a real game someday. The child's hand stopped shaking. The fear didn't vanish, but it softened, replaced by something safer. Red and blue lights flashed outside, washing the windows in color. 2 officers entered, gentle smiles on their faces. They thanked the biker first, then crouched to the child's level, asking his name and repeating what would happen next. The child glanced at the biker, unsure. "It's okay," the biker said. "They'll help find your mom. I'll stay till you're ready." The officers made a few calls. A nearby bus station confirmed a frantic mother had reported her son missing. Relief spread through the room like a deep breath finally released. The child's eyes filled again, this time with tears that didn't hurt as much. When it was time to go, the child stood and walked over to the biker. He wrapped his arms around the man's waist without asking, a quick, tight hug. "Thank you for not leaving," he said. The biker swallowed and patted the kid's back once. "Anytime." Outside, as the patrol car drove away, the Hells Angel put on his helmet. He started his bike, the engine rumbling back to life. The road stretched ahead again, but it felt different now. He rode off knowing that stopping, just once, had meant everything to someone who needed it most. The highway swallowed the sound of the bike as the Hells Angel rode into the night, but his mind stayed back at the gas station. Mile after mile passed, white lines flashing beneath his wheels, yet the image of the child's face kept returning, fear turning into relief, tears turning into a small, brave smile. He told himself it was just one stop, one moment. Still, it clung to him in a way few things ever had. An hour later, he pulled over at a rest area overlooking a stretch of desert dotted with distant lights. He shut off the engine and sat in the quiet, helmet resting on the seat beside him. He thought about how close he'd been to riding away, how easy it would have been to miss that small voice. The road had taught him to keep moving, never linger. Tonight had taught him something else. His phone buzzed. An unknown number. He almost ignored it, then answered. It was one of the officers from earlier. "Just wanted to let you know," the voice said, "the kid's with his mom now. She was at the bus station losing her mind. They're together." The biker closed his eyes and let out a breath he didn't realize he'd been holding. "Good," he said quietly. "That's real good." He rode again, lighter somehow, and by morning reached a small town where he often stopped for breakfast. The diner smelled like coffee and frying bacon. As he slid into a booth, the waitress raised an eyebrow. "You look like you didn't sleep," she said. "Did some thinking," he replied. While he ate, he noticed a bulletin board near the register. Flyers for lost pets, church suppers, community meetings. One paper caught his eye. Volunteers needed, highway outreach program. It listed times for helping stranded travelers, runaway teens, and families who broke down far from home. He stared at it longer than he meant to. Later that day, he rode to the address on the flyer. It wasn't fancy, just a small office with a faded flag out front. Inside, a woman explained the program. "We get calls from all over," she said. "People assume no one will stop. Sometimes they're right." He signed up without overthinking it. Weeks passed. Between rides, he answered calls, handed out water, waited with scared kids until help arrived. Word spread. People were surprised to see a Hells Angel show up and stay. He didn't correct their expectations. He just did the work. One afternoon, while helping a family with a broken-down car, he heard a familiar laugh. He turned. Across the parking lot stood the child from the gas station, holding his mother's hand. The boy recognized him instantly and waved with both arms. "That's him," the boy said. "That's the guy who didn't leave." The biker knelt as the mother thanked him, voice shaking with gratitude. He smiled, awkward and quiet, and shrugged like it was no big deal. But it was. As they walked away, the biker stood by his bike, watching the road stretch out ahead. He still rode it. He always would. But now he knew something for sure. Sometimes, the most important journey begins when you choose to stop.